Hello everyone, welcome to South Connect. This is our weekly show where we round up some very important and interesting news from 5 states of southern India. Let us begin with Karnataka. A 13-year-old boy who had alleged that he was assaulted by two men belonging to another religion while returning from a madrasa in Surathkal on Monday confessed to the police on Thursday that he cooked up the entire story as he was not getting attention at home and school. Mangaluru Police Commissioner N. Shashikumar said that the boy had torn his shirt himself on his own using a pen. When the police could not connect the dots based on his initial statement, the CCTV camera footage and other circumstantial evidence, he was called for questioning again on Thursday when he revealed the truth. He said the boy was suffering from low self-esteem as he comes from a poor family and lags in studies. The police will again record his statement before the Child Welfare Committee and doctors. Following this, the police called his parents and community leaders to discuss the issue. The issue had triggered tension in Surathkal and surrounding areas. He was taken to the Child Welfare Committee later on and also to the doctor for consultancy and counseling. His parents too have been counseled as he had developed some suicidal tendencies as well at a tender age. Moving on to another news, the state government has agreed in principle to regularize the service of Porokarmikas who are working on the direct payment basis in various urban civic bodies in the state. A committee of senior officers, law department officials and representatives of Porokarmikas would be constituted to implement it in accordance with legal provisions, Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai said on Friday. Bommai, who chaired the meeting to discuss the problems of Porokarmikas on Friday, said that the proposal committee would submit its report within 3 months. He said, Porokarmikas deserve social dignity and security. The state government would respond to their woes with a human approach. Their monthly remuneration has been hiked to 2,000 rupees, Bommai said. Special recruitment rules would be framed to simplify Porokarmikas' appointment. The Porokarmikas would be provided housing loan facility, their children would be covered under the Vidyanidhi scholarship scheme, and women Porokarmikas would get maternity benefits, Bommai said. However, the protesting Porokarmikas are insisting on a written assurance from the Chief Minister as a condition for calling off their strike. Let's move on to another state, that is the state of Kerala. 5 people of a family living in Chatanpara, a small town near Kalambalam in Thiruvananthapuram, were found dead at their house in early hours of Saturday, July 2nd. A man named Manikuttan and his family, comprising his wife, an aunt, a son and a daughter, have passed away. The police have begun investigation and the bodies will be sent for post-mortem at Thiruvananthapuram Medical College. It is not yet clear whether the deaths were by suicide. While the 5 people in the family were found dead, Manikuttan's mother was found alive in the same house and she has been shifted to another house. At the time the SP spoke to the media, a forensic team was doing its investigation at the house and an inquest was going on. Manikuttan had owned a small eatery near his house. The 5 people who were found dead include a man who worked at the eatery. It was a worker of the eatery along with a relative of a family that found the 5 people dead inside the house. Former MLA and Kerala Janapaksham leader PC George has been arrested by the museum police on charges of sexually assaulting a woman. The arrest was recorded at government guest house Thaikode at 2:30 p.m. when George was being interrogated by another police team in connection with another case. The complaint was filed by the woman who was the prime accused in solar scam. She had earlier levelled similar complaints against half a dozen political leaders, including former Chief Minister Oommen Chandy, which are now being investigated by the CBI. He alleged that the complainant woman had requested him to give a witness statement in the sexual harassment case against Oommen Chandy, but he refused. This is her revenge for that, PC George said. The complainant alleged that she was summoned by George to government guest house in February to discuss about the gold smuggling through diplomatic channel case in which Swapna Suresh is the prime accused. She said when she entered the room in guest house, George tried to grab her forcefully and talked with sexual innuendo. The complaint was filed on Saturday morning, just ahead of George appearing for an interrogation in connection with another case. Let's move on to Tamil Nadu. The Edapadi K. Palaniswamy faction of AIADMK, which has gained an upper hand, is trying to convince the other faction led by former Chief Minister OPS on single leadership for the party, but the latter is reportedly not accepting the demand. Sources in the AIADMK said that senior leaders, including former ministers SP Velumani, P. Thangamani, and CV Shanmugam, met Paneerselvam at his daughter's residence in Chennai, but the senior leader did not relent. The AIADMK General Council meeting will be held again on July 11th after the Madras High Court Division Bench had ordered that no change must be made in the resolution adopted at the June 23rd meeting. This had upset the move of the EPS faction to get the General Council to pass a new resolution, making him the single General Secretary of the party. Let's move on to Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh Special Chief Secretary Rajat Bhargava, Tourism and Culture, on Thursday inspected the arrangements for Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Bhimavaram town in Andhra Pradesh on July 4th to unveil the statue of a legendary freedom fighter Alluri Sitaramaraju as part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. The Prime Minister will reach Vijayawada Airport at Gannavaram by a special flight from Hyderabad and fly by helicopter to Bhimavaram in West Godavari district. From 11 am to 12:15 pm, Modi will take part in the commemoration ceremony of the 125th birth anniversary of Alluri Sitaramaraju. The Prime Minister will unveil a 30-feet bronze statue in Bhimavaram Park and address a public meeting. He will fly back to New Delhi from Vijayawada Airport at 1:10 pm. Let's move on to another news from the state. Less than 2 weeks after giving him a posting following revocation of his suspension, the Andhra Pradesh government on Tuesday, June 20th, once again suspended senior IPS officer A.B. Venkateswara Rao. In February 2020, the state government had placed Venkateswara Rao, an officer of the 1989 batch, under suspension for his alleged misconduct and irregularities in the purchase of security equipment. The IPS officer had approached the Andhra Pradesh High Court, which had set aside the suspension on May 22, 2020. Later in April 2022, the Supreme Court dismissed a special leave petition filed by the state government challenging the High Court order, making it clear that the suspension could be for maximum 2 years as per the All India Service Discipline and Appeal Amendment Rules 2015. It said, since the 2-year period was over as of February 7, 2022, the suspension could no longer be in place. Let's move on to the state of Telangana. The Telangana unit of the BJP is hosting the party's national executive meeting in Hyderabad to be held on July 2nd and 3rd. The meeting is being held in Hyderabad after nearly 18 years after it was last held in 2004 during the Vajpayee era. The meet is crucial for Telangana as the BJP has decided to have the meeting here in line with its Mission South agenda. The Saffron Party has been trying to consolidate its voter base in the South, and this becomes crucial as Telangana is due for its assembly election next year. Ahead of the BJP's national executive meeting in Hyderabad on July 2nd and 3rd, which will be attended by Prime Minister Modi and other cabinet leaders, a massive hoarding was installed in Secunderabad across the Voli cinema near Parade Ground. The hoarding, which featured the hashtag #ByeByeModi, included references to revoked farm laws, Agnipath scheme, demonetization, privatization of public sector undertakings, and the union government's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. It said, "Enough Modi and don't kill people Modi." The hoarding was removed on June 29th, Wednesday, by workers of Secunderabad Cantonment Board on instructions from the Begumpet police.